Introduction. What if I told you that within you at this very moment resides a power so vast and so profound that it can transform every aspect of your life, from your health and your finances to your relationships and your inner peace? It is not a mystical power reserved for a chosen few, nor a gift acquired through years of esoteric practice. It is a faculty inherent to your very nature, a silent force that has been operating every second of your existence, often without your conscious consent or direction. Imagine your mind as a great ship sailing on the ocean of life. You are the captain, standing on the bridge. You are the one who watches the horizon, plots the course, makes the decisions, and gives the orders. This is your conscious mind, the mind with which you reason, analyze, and choose. But beneath your feet, in the immense and silent engine room, works a tireless and omnipotent crew that never sleeps. It does not question the orders, nor does it judge the destination. It simply takes the captain's directives and engages the powerful engines to take the ship exactly where it has been instructed. This is your subconscious mind. The problem is that most of us are negligent captains. We are unaware of the power of our commands. We murmur contradictory directions filled with fear, doubt, and worry. We think, I want to succeed, but we feel, I am afraid to fail. We affirm, I want to be healthy, but we obsess over illness. And the faithful crew in the engine room, which only understands the language of deep belief and feeling, takes our anxieties and negative convictions as the true heading and works day and night to manifest them in our reality. We have unknowingly become the architects of our own misfortunes, using the greatest power in the universe against ourselves. This audiobook is the instruction manual for your mind's engine room. It is the guide that will teach you how to communicate clearly, deliberately, and effectively with that limitless power that resides within you. Throughout our chapters, you will discover that your thoughts, and more importantly your feelings, are the seeds you plant in the infinitely fertile garden of your subconscious. And your subconscious, like a loyal gardener, will grow whatever seed you plant, be it one of abundance or one of scarcity, one of joy or one of sadness. You will learn to formulate your desires not as uncertain requests, but as already accomplished facts in your mind, thereby impressing the blueprint of your new reality onto the creative substance that inhabits you. You will discover why others have failed and why you will triumph, by understanding the universal law that your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. The source of healing, the key to abundance, and the secret to inner peace are not found outside of you in circumstances or in the opinions of others. They have always been within, waiting to be directed. The silent genius that can grant you all your wishes has been patiently awaiting your orders. The time has come to stop being a drifting passenger and become the true captain of your soul. Are you ready to awaken the giant that sleeps within you? This text is very well suited for an audiobook or self-help guide introduction. Would you like me to help you translate any other parts of this book, or perhaps review the tone? Chapter 1. The Captain and the Engine Room. Getting to know your two minds. For most of us, the experience of being I feels like a single stream of consciousness. It is the voice that narrates our days, the flow of thoughts, worries, and plans that occupy our attention. We take for granted that this thinking mind, the one that reasons and debates with itself, is the totality of who we are. But this is one of the greatest illusions we live under. The truth is that what we call our mind is not a single entity, but a dual system, a collaboration between two distinct intelligences with radically different functions, operating at completely different levels of our consciousness. Understanding this duality is the first and most crucial step toward taking control of your destiny. To navigate this concept, let's revisit the metaphor from our introduction. Your total being is like a great ship. The mind you are most familiar with, the one listening to and processing these words right now, is the captain, standing on the bridge. The captain is the part of you that is conscious. It looks through the eyes of the five senses to perceive the outside world. It sees the weather, reads the maps, hears warnings from other ships. It is the mind that reasons, analyzes, and learns explicitly. If you want to learn mathematics or a new language, the captain sits down to study. It is the seat of your will, the part of you that makes deliberate decisions. Today, I'm going to start a diet. I'm going to apply for that new job. The captain chooses the destination, but the captain, with all its prestige and vision, cannot move the ship an inch by itself. Its power lies in giving orders, because beneath its feet, in the vast, silent depths of the ship, lies the engine room. This is the domain of your subconscious mind. It is a world without daylight, without the noise of conscious analysis. It is a realm of pure power, instinct, and automatism. The crew of this engine room does not see the maps or worry about the destination. Its sole function is to take the captain's orders, translate them into action, and get the massive engines turning to move the ship. Not only that, but it also handles all the ship's vital functions without the captain having to think about them. It keeps the lights on, the air circulating, the hull intact, and the temperature regulated. It is a vast, silent, and omnipotent intelligence that executes directives without question. Throughout your entire life, these two, the captain and the engine room, have been working together. The problem is that, in most cases, they have been working in a chaotic and often self-defeating collaboration, because the captain has never been trained to give clear orders and is unaware of the immense power of the crew under its command. Today, we are going to get to know each of them thoroughly, so you can move from being an amateur captain to a true master of your own vessel. Getting to know the captain, your conscious mind. Let's take a moment to appreciate the captain. Your conscious mind is a marvelous tool. It is the peak of human evolution. Its main characteristic is reason. It is the only part of your mind that can perform inductive and deductive reasoning. It can observe isolated facts and arrive at a general conclusion, or take a general principle and apply it to a specific situation. It is the mind that plans your vacations, calculates your taxes, and debates the pros and cons of a decision. It is also the seat of choice. You have the ability to accept or reject any idea presented to you. When you hear news, read a book, or receive advice, it is your conscious mind that has the privilege of saying, "I accept this as true," or "I reject this idea." This function of choice is, as we will see, your most important superpower, though it is often the most underutilized. The conscious mind is also your window to the objective world. It perceives reality through the five senses. It sees, hears, smells, tastes, and touches. Its domain is the material world, the world of facts and objects. It is finite, logical, and sequential. However, despite its incredible talents, the captain has significant limitations. Its most famous resource, willpower, is notoriously weak and unreliable. It is like a muscle that fatigues with use. This is why diets that start with great determination on Monday often crumble by Friday evening. Trying to change a deep-seated habit, which is programmed in the engine room, using only the captain's willpower, is like the captain trying to change the course of the ocean liner by climbing into a rowboat and pushing it with their own hands. It is an exhausting and almost always useless effort. Furthermore, the conscious mind has a very limited processing capacity. Studies suggest it can only handle a few pieces of information at a time. As you focus on reading this sentence, you are unaware of the sound of the air conditioning, the feeling of your clothes on your skin, or most of your memories, unless you direct your attention toward them. But the greatest weakness of the untrained captain is its negligence. Its most important job is not just giving orders, but acting as the gatekeeper to the engine room. The conscious mind is the only filter the subconscious mind has. Since the subconscious mind accepts as true everything presented to it with conviction, the conscious mind's job is to protect it from negative suggestions. Think about it. How many times a day do you allow negative suggestions to pass through your defenses unquestioned? You hear on the news, "The economy is going to get worse." And your captain, instead of saying, "I reject that idea for my personal reality," simply lets the suggestion of fear and lack filter down to the engine room. A friend tells you, "Be careful. At our age, it's normal to start having aches and pains." And your captain, instead of affirming, "My body is strong and healthy," allows the seed of illness to be planted in your subconscious. You read an article about how hard it is to succeed, and you accept that belief without question. We are captains who have left the bridge abandoned, with the engine room door wide open, allowing any pirate, any rumor, any suggestion of fear floating in the air, to become an order for our faithful crew. It is no wonder our ship often sails in circles or heads straight into storms. Getting to know the crew, your subconscious mind. Now, let's descend the ladder, away from the daylight and the noise of analysis, and enter the pulsating heart of our ship, the engine room, your subconscious mind. If the conscious mind is 1% of your mental power, the subconscious is the remaining 99%. It is a power of a magnitude we can barely conceive. The first and most important characteristic of the subconscious mind is that it does not reason. It does not think logically or sequentially. It is the seat of your emotions. It feels. It operates through intuition, instinct, and above all, belief. It cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If the captain presents it with an idea charged with a strong emotion, be it joy or fear, the engine room accepts it as a direct command and begins working to manifest it in physical reality, regardless of whether the idea is good or bad for the ship. It is like an incredibly fertile soil. It does not care if you plant a seed of a rose or a seed of a poisonous weed. Its nature is simply to grow with all its power, whatever seed it receives from the gardener, the captain. Your subconscious mind is also the master engineer of your body. It controls all your vital functions, 24 hours a day, without your conscious mind having to intervene. Right now, as you listen, your subconscious is beating your heart, regulating your breathing, digesting your last meal, repairing millions of cells, and maintaining a chemical balance of astonishing complexity. It holds the original blueprint of your perfect health. When you get a cut, it is the intelligence of your subconscious that orchestrates the complex healing process. Therefore, if we can learn to communicate the blueprint of health and vitality to it, its ability to heal the body is virtually limitless. It is also the perfect archive. Your subconscious has recorded every experience of your life, from birth to this very second. Every face you have seen, every word you have heard, every emotion you have felt is stored in this vast memory bank. Although your conscious mind may have forgotten most of these experiences, they remain alive in your subconscious, forming the basis of your behavior patterns, your irrational fears, and your inexplicable talents. This powerful mind is always awake and always active. When you sleep, your conscious mind rests, but the engine room continues to work at full capacity, keeping your body functioning and processing the dominant ideas and emotions you gave it during the day. This is why, as we will learn, the moments just before sleep are one of the most powerful opportunities to give direct commands to your subconscious. The ideal relationship, the one this audiobook will teach you to cultivate, is one of harmonious collaboration. The captain, conscious mind, uses its unique talents of reason and choice to decide on a clear and desirable destination. Instead of thinking about what it doesn't want, storms, icebergs, it focuses exclusively on the sunny port it wishes to reach. Then, the captain creates a clear, vivid mental image of that destination. It doesn't just think it, it feels it. It feels the joy of arriving, the warmth of the sun, the satisfaction of the achievement. This emotionally charged image is the blueprint, the order, that it delivers to the chief engineer. Once the order is delivered, the captain has two jobs. First, to trust that the engine room crew knows exactly how to get there. It does not need to constantly go down and ask if they are doing their job correctly or worry about the technical details. The intelligence of the subconscious is infinitely wiser than the conscious mind and will find the fastest and most efficient paths, often in ways the captain could never have conceived. Its second job is to remain on the bridge and act as a faithful guard, rejecting any suggestion of doubt, fear, or failure that tries to reach the engine room and contradict the original order. When this collaboration works, the results are what the world calls miracles. But they are not miracles. They are the natural functioning of the law of your own mind. Throughout your life, this system has been operating. Your current reality, your health, your financial situation, your relationships, your level of inner peace, is simply the physical reflection of the dominant orders that your captain, consciously or unconsciously, has been sending to the engine room over the years. If you don't like what you see, there's no point in blaming the ship or the ocean. The only place where real change can occur is on the bridge. The first step to awakening this power is not a complicated technique or an affirmation. It is simply this realization, the recognition, perhaps for the first time, that you are not one mind but two, that you are not merely the voice that thinks, but also the silent power that creates, to acknowledge that you have been the captain of your ship all this time, even if you've been sleeping at the helm. Starting today, this changes. From this moment on, you choose to take the wheel with both hands. You will no longer be a negligent captain at the mercy of the winds of chance and the suggestions of others. Starting today, you will begin to give your orders with purpose, with clarity, and with absolute faith in the infinite power you have at your service. You have met your crew. In the following chapters, you will learn to speak their language. I hope this translation is exactly what you needed. Would you like to continue translating the next chapters, or discuss any specific concepts presented here? Chapter 2. The Inner Garden. The Fundamental Law of Belief. In the universe we live in, immutable and predictable laws operate. The law of gravity doesn't negotiate. It simply is. The law of thermodynamics has no favorites. It applies to everyone equally. In the same way, in the universe of your mind, a law operates that is as fundamental, as powerful, and as infallible as gravity itself. Understanding and applying this law is the secret to unlocking all the potential that resides within you. This is the law of belief. The law is astonishingly simple in its formulation. Your subconscious mind will accept as true any thought, idea, or belief that your conscious mind presents to it with faith and feeling, and it will proceed to manifest it in your life experience. Put another way, what you believe in the deepest part of your being becomes your reality. It is not what you wish for lightly, nor what you passively hope for. It is what you accept as true deep down that shapes your outer world. To make this law tangible and easy to remember, let's momentarily abandon the ship metaphor and adopt one that is perhaps even more powerful, that of a garden. Imagine your subconscious mind is the soil of a garden. It's not just any garden. It is the most fertile land that has ever existed. It is rich, deep, and full of infinite vital energy, capable of growing anything at astonishing speed and magnificence. Now imagine your conscious mind is the gardener, and your thoughts, your ideas, and your dominant beliefs are the seeds you hold in your hand. Every day, every hour, every minute, wherever you are acting as the gardener of your mind. With every thought you choose to entertain, with every belief you choose to accept, you are planting a seed in this miraculous soil. The most important and simultaneously most dangerous characteristic of this inner garden is that the soil is completely impartial. It is amoral. It does not judge the seeds. It has no preferences. Its sole, all-powerful nature is to grow whatever is planted in it. If the gardener plants the seed of a beautiful rose, the earth will welcome it, nurture it, and produce an exquisite flower, full of fragrance and beauty. If the gardener, on the other hand, plants a seed of deadly nightshade, a poisonous plant, the earth will not reject it. It will provide the same vital energy, the same nourishment, and grow the toxic plant with the same dedication and efficiency. The soil doesn't say, "Oh, this is poison, I won't grow it." Its law is the law of unconditional growth. Your subconscious mind operates under this exact same law. Most of us have spent our lives as negligent gardeners, unconscious of the quality of the seeds we are scattering. We walk through our garden with pockets full of seeds of doubt, fear, worry, self-criticism, and lack, and we drop them randomly without realizing it. And then when our garden is overgrown with the weeds of sickness, loneliness, and failure, we look up and wonder why we have such bad luck. It is not bad luck. It is simply the law of the harvest. We reap what we sow. The good news, the most liberating news you will ever hear, is that the moment you realize you are the gardener, you reclaim all your power. You can stop blaming the soil, your subconscious, or the climate, external circumstances. You can look at the seeds in your hand, and starting today you can consciously choose which seeds you are going to plant. To become master gardeners, we must first understand where the seeds come from. The seeds, which are the suggestions that reach our mind, come from two sources, external and internal. The seeds from outside, heterosuggestion, The seeds that come from outside are known as heterosuggestion, suggestions from other people or the environment. From the day you were born, you have been exposed to a constant bombardment of these seeds. During our childhood, our inner garden is completely open and unprotected. The conscious mind, the gardener, is immature and lacks the capacity to reject seeds. We accept as absolute truths the suggestions of the authority figures in our lives, our parents, our teachers, our culture. If as a child you were repeatedly told you're clumsy or you'll never be good at math, that seed was planted in your fertile subconscious. If you grew up in a home where the mantra was, money is the root of all evil, or life is a constant struggle, those seeds took deep root. These early seeds form the bedding of our garden, the fundamental beliefs upon which we build the rest of our lives. Often they operate so automatically that we don't even realize they are there, influencing our decisions and attracting experiences that confirm them. This process does not stop in childhood. As adults, we continue to be bombarded. The media plants seeds of fear about the economy, crime, and illness. Advertising sows seeds of lack, convincing us that we are not enough unless we buy their product. Well-meaning but limiting opinions from friends and family can plant seeds of doubt about our boldest dreams. This is where the role of the conscious gardener comes in. A master gardener does not allow just any seed brought by the wind to take root in their precious land. They examine every seed. If a friend tells them it's almost impossible to start a business these days, the conscious gardener holds that seed in their hand, examines it and says, "I reject this seed. It is not for my garden. In my garden, I plant seeds of success and opportunity." And they discard the seed. If they read an article about a new disease, instead of allowing the seed of fear to be planted, they reject it and affirm, "I accept only seeds of perfect health and vitality for my body." Protecting the gate of your mind from negative external suggestions is your first and most important task as a gardener. The seeds from within. Autosuggestion. The second source of seeds, and the one that ultimately holds the most power, is autosuggestion, the suggestions we give to ourselves. Your inner dialogue, that constant monologue you have in your mind, is the most powerful act of sowing that exists. Every habitual thought is a seed. Think about the phrases you repeat to yourself throughout the day. Are they the kind, "I'm so tired," "This is too difficult," "I never have enough money," "I always make the wrong decision"? Each of those phrases is a seed you are deliberately planting in your subconscious. A single negative thought is like a seed in your hand. It has potential but isn't very powerful. But a thought that is repeated again and again, day after day, is a seed you are planting, watering, and fertilizing with your attention. Inevitably, it will germinate and become a robust plant in your garden, a reality in your life. The great secret of your mind's power is this: you have the ability to consciously choose the seeds of autosuggestion. You can deliberately start withdrawing your attention from thoughts of fear and lack, and begin planting with intention and repetition the seeds of what you wish to manifest. You can start telling yourself, "Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Abundance flows to me freely and effortlessly. My body is a miracle of healing, and my health is perfect." At first, your conscious mind, the captain, may argue, "That's not true." But remember, we are not trying to convince the captain. We are trying to plant a seed in the engine room, in the fertile soil. And the engine room does not argue. If you plant the seed with enough repetition, it will accept it and begin to grow it. The crucial element, feeling and emotion. However, there is one crucial ingredient we are missing. A seed, no matter how good, cannot germinate in dry, sunless soil. It needs the right conditions. In the garden of your mind, those conditions, the water and the sun, are your feelings and emotions. This is perhaps the most important point in this entire audiobook. You can repeat an affirmation like, "I am rich," 1,000 times a day, but if as you do so, you feel the pang of lack, the anxiety of bills, and the despair of debt, the seed you are truly planting is not wealth. The real seed is the one that is charged with emotion. The subconscious does not respond to empty words. It responds to the universal language of feeling. Feeling is the secret. A thought is just a thought. A belief, the one that truly holds creative power, is a thought that has been accepted as true and charged with the energy of emotion. To effectively impress an idea upon your subconscious, you have to feel the reality of that idea as if it were already a fact. This is known as the principle of assuming the wish fulfilled. It is not about lying to yourself. It is an act of creative imagination and faith. If you wish to heal from an illness, you cannot simply repeat, "I am healthy," while feeling fear and pain. You must take time to enter a state of relaxation and, in your imagination, feel what it would be like to be and be healthy. Feel the energy in your body, the freedom of movement, the joy of vitality. Immerse yourself in the emotion of gratitude for your healing as if it has already happened. That feeling, that emotion of gratitude and health, is the water that will germinate the seed in the soil of your subconscious. If you desire prosperity, do not focus on your debts. Take time to imagine and feel the security, freedom, and generosity that abundance would provide you. Feel the satisfaction of paying your bills with joy. Feel the freedom of not having to worry about money. Feel the joy of being able to be generous with your loved ones. By generating that emotion within you, you are providing the perfect climate for the seeds of prosperity to take deep root. The mirror of your life. To know what seeds you have been planting so far, you don't need to psychoanalyze every one of the 60,000 thoughts you have daily. There is a much simpler way. Look around you. Your life, as it is at this moment, is your garden made visible. Your physical body, your bank account, the quality of your relationships, your level of inner peace, all of it is nothing more than the harvest of the seeds of thought and feeling you have been planting consciously or unconsciously for years. Your outer world is a perfect mirror of your inner world. I ask you to perform this exercise of observation without an ounce of blame or judgment. You didn't know. You have been a gardener operating without an instruction manual, often amidst a storm of negative external suggestions, doing the best you could. The past is not a sentence, it is simply information. It is showing you with undeniable clarity what kind of seeds yield what kind of fruit. And now, with this knowledge, everything changes. Today is the day you stop being a negligent gardener. Today is the day you take full responsibility for the state of your garden. You will no longer blame the soil or the climate or the seeds that others threw at you. Today you take up the shovel of your consciousness, the watering can of your feeling, and the sack of seeds that you and only you choose to plant. You have learned the most important law in the universe. Your belief is the mold of your reality. In the coming chapters, we will learn the specific and practical techniques of a master gardener, how to prepare the soil, how to choose the best seeds, how to water them most effectively, and how to protect your garden so that it yields an abundant and glorious harvest for the rest of your life. The next chapter will likely introduce specific techniques for planting and watering those positive seeds. Would you like me to translate the next chapter when you have it? Chapter 3. The Language of Feeling. How to communicate with your hidden power. In the previous chapter, we established a fundamental truth. You are the gardener of your mind, and your thoughts and beliefs are the seeds you plant in the infinitely fertile soil of your subconscious. Now we arrive at the practical heart of our work. If you were to go to a foreign country, it wouldn't be enough to know that its inhabitants are friendly and willing to help you. You would need to learn their language to communicate with them. In the same way, to consciously direct the power of your subconscious mind, you must learn to speak its native tongue. And this is where most people fail. We try to speak to our subconscious in the language of the conscious mind. We use logic, reason, willpower, and empty words. It is like a captain shouting orders to their crew, in a language the crew doesn't understand. The crew in the engine room hears noise, but receives no clear instructions, so they continue to operate on the old programmed orders. The native language of the conscious mind is words and logic. The native language of the subconscious mind is images, symbols, and above all, feeling. Your subconscious is deaf to logic, but incredibly receptive to emotion. It doesn't care about the eloquence of your words. It cares about the conviction of your heart. It does not manifest what you say you want. It manifests what you feel is already true. Therefore, the great secret to communicating with your hidden power, the master key that opens all doors, is this. Feeling is the language that your subconscious understands and obeys. An affirmation repeated without emotion is like an exquisite cake recipe read aloud in a cold kitchen with no ingredients. The words are there, the formula is correct, but the essential ingredient that activates the transformation, the heat of the oven, is missing. In the alchemy of the mind, feeling is that heat. It is the energy that takes the mold of your thought and imprints it onto the creative substance of your subconscious. In this chapter, you will learn the two fundamental techniques for generating and sustaining the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, the art of controlled visualization and the science of effective affirmations. This is not about deceiving yourself, but about aligning yourself with the law of your own mind in the most powerful way possible. The art of visualization, painting a masterpiece for your mind. When we talk about visualization, people often think simply of seeing an image in their mind. But effective visualization is much more than that. It is an act of total sensory immersion. It is using the power of your imagination to create an internal experience so vivid and so real that your subconscious mind, which cannot distinguish between a real experience and an intensely imagined one, accepts it as a memory of something that has already happened. By doing this, you create the neurological and emotional mold that your subconscious will strive to fill in your outer reality. The most opportune time to practice visualization is in a state of deep relaxation, known as the sleep-like state. This usually occurs just before you fall asleep at night, or just after waking up in the morning when you are still in that drowsy, peaceful state. Why is this time so effective? Because in this state, the conscious mind, the analytical and often cynical captain, is dozing. The gatekeeper is half asleep and its logical objections, "This isn't real, this is impossible," are much weaker. In this state of receptivity, you can plant your seeds directly into the fertile soil of the subconscious with minimal interference. Now I will guide you step by step through an effective visualization exercise. You can apply this technique to any goal you desire. Step 1. Define your desire with crystal clarity. Before you begin, you must know exactly what you want. A vague desire like, "I want to be happy," is a confusing command for your subconscious. Be specific. Instead of, "I want more money," decide on a specific amount, or better yet, decide what you would do with that money that would make you feel secure and prosperous. Instead of, "I want a better job," define what that job would be like and how you would feel having it. Step 2. Relax your body and mind. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. Close your eyes. Take several slow, deep breaths, lengthening the exhale. With each exhale, feel the tension leaving your body. Relax your feet, legs, abdomen, arms, shoulders, neck, and face. The goal is to reach a state of passive calmness, where your body is still and your mind is quiet. Step 3. Construct your scene of the wish fulfilled. This is the most important step. You are not going to visualize the process of getting your desire. You're going to visualize a short, simple scene that implies your desire is already a reality. You have to go to the end. If your desire is to heal an ailment, do not visualize the medical treatment. Visualize a scene after the healing. You are playing your favorite sport, dancing, or a loved one is telling you, "You look so well. Your recovery is amazing." If your desire is to get a promotion, do not visualize the hard work or the interview. Visualize the moment a colleague shakes your hand and says, "Congratulations on the new position." If your desire is a harmonious relationship, do not visualize the argument or the reconciliation process. Visualize a simple scene. You are sitting with that person, feeling a deep sense of peace and connection, and they say, "I feel so happy with you." The scene must be short, so you can repeat it easily, and it must be a climax moment that contains the emotional essence of your fulfilled desire. Step 4. Immerse yourself in the scene with all your senses. Now you are going to take that brief scene and make it real in the theater of your mind. Do not be a passive spectator, be the main actor. Sight. What exactly do you see? Do you? Observe the colors, the light, the shapes, the facial expressions. Make it as vivid as possible. Hearing. What do you hear? Is it your friend's voice congratulating you? Is it the sound of laughter, music? Listen to the sounds of your scene. Touch. What do you physically feel? Do you feel your colleague's handshake, the hug of your loved one, the feeling of the sun on your skin while engaging in that healthy activity? Smell and taste. Is there any smell or taste associated with your scene? The smell of freshly cut grass, the taste of a glass of champagne in a celebration. Emotion. This is the key ingredient. As you live this scene, what emotion do you feel? Is it relief, joy, gratitude, pride? Immerse yourself in that emotion. Let it flood you completely. Step 5. Repeat the scene in a loop. Once you have your vivid and emotionally charged scene, simply repeat it in your mind, over and over like a lullaby. Do not force anything. Just allow the scene to play gently until you start to feel sleepy. The goal is for the last impression on your consciousness before sleep to be the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. Always remember, the purpose of the images is not the images themselves. They are a tool to generate the feeling. The feeling that your desire is already real is the true prayer. It is the clear and direct order that your captain is giving to the engine room. Affirmations that work, charging words with power. The second major communication tool is affirmation or autosuggestion. However, as we mentioned, most people use them incorrectly. They repeat phrases like, "I am prosperous," while their body and emotions scream, "I am riddled with debt." This contradiction creates an internal conflict that completely nullifies the power of the word. An effective affirmation is not a lie you repeat to yourself, but a truth you are choosing to embody. For your affirmations to work, they must follow several rules and above all be used in the right state of mind. First, the anatomy of a powerful affirmation. It must be personal and in the present tense. Always use I am, I have, I am being, doing. Never use the future. I will be, I will have. Because for the subconscious, the future is a concept that never arrives. The command must be for now. It must be simple and concise. Your subconscious responds best to clear, direct ideas like newspaper headlines. A long, complicated sentence loses its impact. It must be positive. State what you desire, not what you want to avoid. Instead of "I don't want to be sick," the affirmation is "I am full of health and vitality." The subconscious does not process negatives well and tends to focus on the key word, in this case, sick. It must evoke a feeling. The affirmation should be a phrase that, when repeated, awakens the emotion of your fulfilled desire within you. The most effective technique for impressing your subconscious with an affirmation is the lullaby technique. It is very similar to the visualization process. In that drowsy state just before sleep, when the captain's analysis and resistance are at their lowest point, you choose a short, powerful affirmation that summarizes your fulfilled desire. For example, if you seek healing, a simple phrase could be, "Thank you for my perfect health." Notice the structure. It is in the present and, most importantly, it is infused with gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for manifestation because it implies that you have already received what you are giving thanks for. Once you have your phrase, simply repeat it in your mind, over and over, like a nursery rhyme. Do not analyze it. Do not question it. Feel the emotion it evokes. Feel the gratitude. Allow that feeling to be the last thing you focus on as you drift off to sleep. By doing this, you are delivering that seed directly into the hands of your nocturnal gardener, your subconscious, which will work all night to make it germinate. Examples of transformation. Desire lullaby affirmation. Feeling to embody. I want to find a loving partner. I am so happy and grateful for the wonderful love in my life. Happiness and gratitude. I want to overcome my fear of public speaking. I speak with calmness, confidence, and assurance. Calmness and confidence. I want my business to succeed. Success and prosperity flow into me. Ease, flow, and success. The most potent combination of all is to unite visualization and affirmation. While holding your scene of the wish fulfilled in your mind's eye, mentally repeat the affirmation that encapsulates the feeling of that scene. The image provides the detailed blueprint. The emotionally charged affirmation provides the energy that builds it. You have now learned the two main dialects of the subconscious language, the vivid image and the deep feeling. You have learned that it is not about forcing, but about allowing, not about fighting, but about accepting. The captain's job is not to go down to the engine room and try to move the pistons by force. Its job is to remain on the bridge, maintain a clear and serene vision of the desired destination, and send consistent orders charged with the faith and feeling that the ship has already arrived at port. Once you have planted the seed in this manner, your conscious work is done. You must let go. Trust the infinite wisdom of your inner gardener. It knows the processes of growth, the seasons, the ways and means that your conscious mind could never conceive. Simply maintain faith. Guard the gate of your garden from the seeds of doubt and prepare to marvel at the harvest. This chapter gives excellent practical techniques. Are you ready to move on to the next chapter, or would you like a quick summary of the key visualization steps? Chapter 4. The Art of Effective Petition. Creating the mold for your desires. In the previous chapters, we established the two fundamental truths that govern our lives. First, that we possess two minds, a conscious mind that chooses and a subconscious mind that creates. And second, that the language understood by this creative mind is that of feeling. With these foundations, we are now ready to move from theory to deliberate practice. We are ready to learn the art and science of effective petition, or what has been known throughout history as prayer. Forget for a moment everything you think you know about prayer. For many, the word conjures an image of supplication, of asking an external force with uncertainty in the hope of being heard. Prayer, in the context of the science of mind, is something radically different. It is not an act of asking, it is an act of receiving. It is not a plea, it is an affirmation. It is not a conversation with a distant deity. It is a structured, deliberate communion with the infinite power that resides within you. Scientific prayer is not a rite of hope, but a mental technique for creating a defined outcome. To understand this, let's introduce a new metaphor. Imagine you are a master architect. Your deepest desire, whether it be perfect health, professional success, or a harmonious relationship, is the magnificent building you wish to construct. Your conscious mind, the captain, is the architect who designs the blueprints. Your subconscious mind, the engine room, is the master builder and its infinite crew, ready to construct anything presented to them. And the infinite intelligence of the universe is the limitless storehouse of raw material. What happens if an architect hands the master builder vague, stained, or contradictory blueprints? The master builder, however skilled, will be unable to build anything. Or they will construct a deformed and precarious structure. The quality of the final building depends entirely on the clarity, precision, and integrity of the original blueprint. Effective petition is the art of drawing a perfect mental blueprint. It is the process of creating a mold in your mind, so clear, so detailed, and so charged with the conviction of its reality that your subconscious mind has no choice but to take that mold and materialize it in the three-dimensional world, using the infinite resources at its disposal. In this chapter, I will guide you through the 7 essential ingredients for creating a master blueprint, for formulating a petition that your subconscious cannot ignore. This is the complete formula from start to finish. The 7 steps to the master blueprint. Step 1. Know exactly what you want, absolute clarity. The first and most fundamental step is clarity. The universe cannot respond to a confused signal. Your subconscious cannot build from a vague blueprint. Desires like, I want to be happy, I want more money, or I want to be better, are useless commands. They are like telling the master builder, build something pretty. What is pretty? What is more? What is better? You must define your desire in clear, specific, and positive terms. Take the necessary time to sit down with pen and paper and distill your yearning into a single precise sentence. Instead of I want a new car, write, I joyfully drive my make, model, and color of the car. Instead of I want a better job, write, I enthusiastically work as a your new position at company or type of company earning specific amount per year and feeling valued and fulfilled. Instead of "I want to heal," write, "I enjoy perfect health and radiant vitality, and my body is functioning in complete harmony." This act of definition is like the architect's first stroke on the blank page. It transforms a nebulous longing into a concrete goal. Step 2. Find the essence, the feeling of the desire. Once you have the concrete goal, we must go one level deeper. Ask yourself, why do I want this? What is the feeling, the state of being, that I believe this goal will provide me? We rarely desire the object or circumstance itself. We desire the emotion we associate with it. You don't want the car. You want the feeling of freedom, security, or success you believe the car will give you. You don't want the money. You want the feeling of peace of mind, security, or generosity that abundance would allow you to feel. You don't want the perfect relationship. You want to feel loved, understood, and connected. Identifying this emotional essence is crucial. This feeling is the main material we will use to charge our blueprint. It is the color, the atmosphere, and the soul of our building. Write down this feeling. This will be your emotional goal during the petition process. Step 3. Construct the mold, the scene of the wish fulfilled. Now, with your clear goal and your identified emotional essence, we are going to construct the mental mold, the visualization scene we practiced in the previous chapter, but with even greater discipline. The scene must be short, simple, and static, not a long movie. And most importantly, it must imply that the desire has already been fulfilled. It must take place after your goal has materialized. For professional success, don't visualize the interview. Visualize your best friend slapping you on the back and saying, "Congratulations, I knew you'd get it." The act of being congratulated implies that the success is already a fact. For health, don't visualize the healing process. Visualize the doctor looking at your test results and telling you with a smile, "The results are perfect. You are completely healthy." For wealth, don't visualize how you earn the money. Visualize a scene you could only live if you were already wealthy, such as looking at your bank statement and feeling profound calm and gratitude, or making a generous gift to a loved one. Create your scene. It should be a culminating moment that you can easily feel and repeat. Step 4. Enter the receptive state, the sleep-like state. Now that we have the blueprint, we need to prepare the ground for construction. As we learned, the subconscious is most receptive when the conscious mind is relaxed and passive. We must deliberately induce the sleep-like state. Find a time and place where you won't be interrupted. Sit in a comfortable chair or lie down. Close your eyes. Start with your breath. Take 5 or 6 deep breaths, making the exhale twice as long as the inhale. Feel your body begin to let go. Now bring your attention to your feet. Feel them becoming heavy, warm, and completely relaxed. Let that sensation of relaxation slowly move up your legs like a warm wave, loosening every muscle in its path. Relax your calves, your thighs. Feel your abdomen soften. Allow the relaxation to rise up your back, dissolving any knots of tension. Feel your shoulders drop, releasing the weight of the world. Relax your arms, your hands, down to your fingertips. Relax your neck, your jaw, the small muscles around your eyes and forehead. You are entering a state of deep physical and mental calm. Your body is motionless. Your thoughts slow down. You are at the threshold of the engine room. The gatekeeper is asleep. The ground is ready for sowing. Step 5. Imprint the idea, the fusion with feeling. In this state of deep relaxation, bring the scene you constructed in Step 3 to your mind. Do not force it, let it appear gently. Now enter the scene. Don't watch it like on a movie screen. Live it in the first person. You are the one listening to the congratulations. You are the one feeling the hug. Now invoke the emotional essence you identified in Step 2. If your essence was freedom, feel freedom expanding in your chest. If it was peace, let a wave of calm wash over you. If it was joy, allow a smile to form on your face. Saturate the scene with this feeling. This is the moment of conception. The thought, the scene, is uniting with the emotion, the feeling, to create a new belief in your subconscious. Repeat the scene over and over, passively, like a lullaby. Each time you repeat it, try to make it more real, more sensory, and above all, Feel the emotion more intensely. The goal is to reach a point where the scene feels so natural and so real that you forget you are imagining it. You have moved from thinking about your desire to thinking from your desire. Step 6. Seal it with gratitude, the emotion of acceptance. While remaining in the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, introduce the most powerful emotion of all, gratitude. Feel a deep and sincere gratitude for having received this gift. Gratitude is the amen of the soul. It is the unmistakable signal you send to your subconscious that the transaction is complete. It shifts the energy from petition, which implies lack, to the energy of reception, which implies fullness. End your mental session with the feeling of gratitude filling your entire being. Feel a simple and powerful thank you in your heart. Step 7. Let go and trust, the mental Sabbath. This is the step that most people forget, and it is often what determines success or failure. Once you have planted a seed in a garden, you do not dig it up every few hours to see if it is sprouting. If you did, you would kill the seed. You must leave it in the ground and trust that the laws of nature will do their work. In the same way, once you have successfully imprinted an idea onto your subconscious, you must let it go. You must enter what could be called a mental Sabbath, a state of rest and confidence. You have handed the blueprint to the master builder. Now, let him and his crew do their work. During the day, if you find yourself thinking about your desire, do not do so with anxiety or worry. Will it work? When will it arrive? Each of those thoughts is an act of digging up the seed, of planting a counter-suggestion of doubt. Instead, when the thought of your desire appears, simply smile, feel the gratitude of having received it for a second, and move on with your day. Your dominant mood should be one of quiet expectation, the serene confidence of someone who has placed an order and knows without a doubt that the package is already on its way. To avoid common mistakes, keep the following in mind. First, avoid overexertion. Subconscious imprinting is achieved in a state of relaxation and passivity, not with the captain's willpower. If you feel you are straining to visualize or feel, stop. It means you are operating from the conscious mind. The key is ease, receptivity. Second, do not worry about the hows. The conscious mind is finite and can only see the logical known paths. The subconscious mind is infinite and has access to ways and solutions that your conscious mind cannot even imagine. Your job is to define the what, the final destination. The subconscious's job is to orchestrate the how, trust its wisdom. And third, be congruent. You cannot spend 15 minutes at night planting seeds of abundance and then spend the next 16 hours of the day complaining about lack of money, feeling envy, or talking about the crisis. Your dominant thoughts and feelings throughout the day are the constant climate of your garden. You must strive to maintain a mental climate that is coherent with the seed you have planted. By following these 7 steps, you have stopped being a supplicant and become a conscious creator. You have learned the art of effective petition. You have learned to draw a perfect blueprint for your mind. After a successful session of this type, the feeling that remains is not one of excited hope but one of silent certainty, a profound peace, a calm that whispers a simple truth within you. It is done. And when you feel that calm, you can be sure that the master builder has received the blueprint and the construction has begun. This chapter lays out a detailed, actionable plan. Would you like to review the next chapter on specific techniques? Or perhaps practice formulating one of your own desires using these 7 steps? Chapter 5. The Internal Pharmacy. Healing and Wellness Through Your Subconscious. Pause for a moment and marvel at the miracle that you are. In this very instant, without the slightest intervention from your conscious mind, your body is performing billions of processes of astonishing complexity. Your heart beats, pumping blood through 60,000 miles of veins and arteries. Your lungs expand and contract, extracting life-giving oxygen for every one of your cells. Your digestive system is transforming your last meal into energy and new tissue. Your immune system is patrolling tirelessly, identifying and neutralizing invaders. All of this happens in perfect silence, orchestrated by an intelligence so vast and precise that it defies our comprehension. Who is the conductor of this incredible biological orchestra? Who is the silent architect that built your body from a single cell and has worked every second of your life to maintain it? That intelligence, that healing power, is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is not just a psychological entity that stores memories and emotions. It is the master builder and chief chemist of your physical form. It is the intelligence that knows how to turn a wound into new skin, how to convert a broken bone into a solid callus, how to create a perfect antibody for a specific virus. Within your subconscious mind resides the original blueprint, the perfect template for every cell, every tissue, and every organ of your body. It is a blueprint of health, vitality, and harmonious functioning. Your body's natural state is not disease, it is wellness. Illness is not a punishment or a random chance. It is, in most cases, the result of interference. It is what happens when the gardener, your conscious mind, has been chronically and often unconsciously planting the seeds of fear, worry, resentment, and limiting beliefs in the garden of their body. These negative seeds distort the original blueprint, creating a static interference that prevents the subconscious's healing intelligence from doing its work perfectly. The goal of this chapter is to teach you how to stop sowing toxic seeds and to start planting with clear and powerful intention the seeds of perfect health. You will learn to align your conscious mind with the infinite healing intelligence already residing within you, allowing it to restore order and harmony in the temple of your body. We are not here to deny modern medicine or to ignore the advice of health professionals. We are here to activate the most powerful pharmacy in the universe, the one you carry within, the root of interference, fear, and limiting beliefs. To understand how to heal, we must first understand how we often contribute to creating illness. The connection between the mind and the body is not a New Age theory. It is an established scientific fact. Every thought you have triggers a cascade of chemical reactions in your brain, which in turn release hormones and neurotransmitters that travel throughout your body, affecting every single one of your cells. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vivid thought. It reacts to your thoughts as if they were reality. The most poisonous seed you can plant in the garden of your body is fear. To live in a chronic state of fear, be it fear of a specific illness, fear of the future, fear of poverty, or fear of loneliness, is like keeping the body in a state of constant alarm. Fear activates the fight or flight response, flooding your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are useful in a real, short-term emergency, but when they become the habitual climate of your mind, they are incredibly destructive. Chronic cortisol suppresses your immune system, leaving you vulnerable to infections and diseases. It increases inflammation, which is at the root of countless chronic ailments. It disrupts your digestion, your sleep, and your ability to think clearly. Living in fear is literally slowly poisoning your body from within. The fear of contracting a disease can, paradoxically, create the perfect physiological conditions for that very disease to develop. Your subconscious, constantly receiving the command of fear, works to materialize what you fear most, because that is the dominant image you are presenting to it. Alongside fear, other weeds grow. Our limiting beliefs about health. These are suggestions we have accepted as truths that act as direct orders to our subconscious. Let's analyze some of the most common. At my age, it's normal to start having aches, pains, illnesses. This is a massive and destructive cultural suggestion. By accepting it, you are giving your subconscious the order to start deteriorating your body according to an arbitrary schedule. The truth is that age is not synonymous with disease. Your body is designed for lifelong vitality. Everyone in my family suffers from heart problems, has diabetes, gets migraines. The belief in the inevitability of hereditary diseases is a powerful self-fulfilling prophecy. While a genetic predisposition may exist, your firm belief that you will have it too may be the factor that activates that predisposition. You are telling your subconscious, search for and activate the family disease program. I have a weak immune system. I always catch colds. Every time you repeat this phrase, you are instructing your subconscious to weaken your defenses. You are creating the identity of a sickly person, and your subconscious will diligently work to make your body conform to that identity. One of the most potent forms of negative heterosuggestion occurs in the medical field. A diagnosis is a fact, a description of a current condition, but a prognosis, a prediction about the future of that condition, is only an opinion based on statistics. When a doctor, as an authority figure, tells you this is incurable or you have 6 months to live, they are giving you a negative suggestion of immense power. Millions accept it without question, and their subconscious, accepting the expert's order, proceeds to carry out the sentence. A master gardener of the mind learns to separate the diagnosis from the prognosis. They accept the diagnosis as useful information about the current state of their garden, but they firmly reject any negative prognosis. Instead, they consciously choose to plant the seed of perfect healing. They thank the doctor for their opinion, and then they go home to begin the true work of imprinting their subconscious with the certainty of their complete recovery. The subconscious healing technique. Now that we understand how our minds can create the conditions for illness, let's learn the technique for deliberately creating the conditions for health. This is the method of subconscious healing, based on the principles we have already explored. Step 1. Deep relaxation, preparing the ground. You cannot plant a seed in the middle of a hurricane. The first step is always to calm the storm of the conscious mind and the body. You need to enter that drowsy, receptive, sleep-like state. Find your quiet place. Sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes. Perform the progressive relaxation exercise you learned in the previous chapter. But this time, do it with a healing intention. As you bring your attention to each body part, don't just relax it. Speak to it in silence. When you focus on your feet, think, "My feet are relaxed and filled with healing energy." As you move up your legs, feel a wave of calm and vitality flow through them. When you reach a specific organ you wish to heal, pause there for a moment. Imagine that all tension, fear, and memory of the disease dissolve and release with each exhale. You are preparing the soil, making every part of your body receptive to the new template of health you are about to introduce. Step 2. Creating the mold of perfect health, the architect's blueprint. In this state of deep relaxation, you're going to create and sustain the image and feeling of perfect health. There are 2 ways to do this. 1. General visualization. If you seek general wellness, imagine a golden or white light, bright and filled with incredible vital energy, descending from above and entering the crown of your head. Feel its warmth and vibration. Now, mentally guide this light throughout your entire body. Feel it flow through your brain, dissolving all worries. Let it descend, freeing all tension. Feel it fill your chest, heart, and lungs, making them strong and rhythmic. Guide it through your abdomen, healing and harmonizing every organ. Let it flow down your legs to your toes. Feel your whole being vibrating with this perfect, pure, and divine healing energy. Remain in this sensation of luminous completeness. 2. Focused visualization. If you have a specific ailment, bring your attention to the affected area. But, and this is crucial, do not visualize it in its diseased state. You must see and feel it as if it were already completely healthy. If you have a lung issue, don't visualize damaged tissue. Visualize pink, clean lungs expanding with perfect strength. If you have a backache, feel your spine strong, flexible, and completely without discomfort. Remember, the subconscious takes your images literally. Give it the image of the desired final result. And most importantly, while holding this image, invoke the feeling of health. How would you feel if you were completely healthy right now? Gratitude, relief, freedom, joy. Immerse yourself in that feeling. That emotion is what seals the image onto the sensitive plate of your subconscious mind. Step 3. The healing affirmation, the command to the builder. While bathing in the image and feeling of perfect health, introduce a short, simple, and powerful affirmation that encapsulates this truth. Use the lullaby technique, repeating it gently until you fall asleep or end your session. Here are some powerful examples. The healing intelligence of my subconscious, which created my body, is now recreating it in perfect harmony. Every cell, nerve, tissue, and muscle of my name of the organ is now being healed, restored, and perfected. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. One of the simplest and most potent thank you, thank you, thank you for my perfect healing. The key is passive repetition. Don't force the belief. Simply allow the words to wash over your mind, sweeping away the old beliefs of illness and leaving the new seed of health in their place. Step 4. Faith and acceptance. Handing over the blueprints. Once you have completed your imprinting session, your conscious work is finished. You have drawn the blueprint and handed it over to the master builder. Now, you have to let it work. This is the step of faith and trust. During the day, it's inevitable that thoughts of doubt or symptoms of your ailment may appear. This is the gardener's test. Do not panic. Do not think, it's not working. Every time you do that, you are digging up the seed to see if it has sprouted. When a thought of fear or a symptom appears, do not fight it. Simply relax and calmly counterattack with one of your affirmations. You can say in your mind, "Thank you, but I have accepted the truth of my perfect health. My subconscious intelligence is working now." And then shift your focus to something else. Divert your attention from the body and the symptoms. Trust the process. Your only task during the day is to maintain a mental state of quiet expectation, knowing that the healing is underway. Healing is not a battle against your body. Your body has never been your enemy. It has always been doing the best it can with the orders it has received from your mind. Healing is a process of realignment, of making peace with your body, and starting to work as a team with the infinite intelligence that animates it. Make these practices a daily habit. Dedicate time every night, and if you can, also in the morning, to this conscious sowing of health. You are changing the climate of your inner garden. You are pulling out the weeds of fear and doubt, and you are planting and watering, with love and conviction, the seeds of a radiant vitality. The most powerful pharmacy in the universe is not found in any building. It resides in the infinite potential of every one of your cells. You have learned to write the prescription through your thoughts and feelings. Now hand it over with faith to the omniscient pharmacist who lives inside you, and allow the miracle of healing to take place. Would you like to move on to the translation of the next chapter, or is there a specific section of this one you'd like to emphasize or review? Chapter 6. The Magnet of Prosperity, Sowing Seeds of Abundance. Let's talk about a topic that for many is charged with anxiety, confusion, and limiting beliefs: money and wealth. We have been conditioned to believe that wealth is a purely external condition, a quantity of figures in a bank account, a collection of material possessions. We believe it is something out there, something we must chase, struggle, and often suffer to obtain. And that, once we get it, we will finally feel secure, free, and successful. But this belief is one of the greatest inversions of the truth that exists. The law of your mind, as we have already learned, dictates that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. This is no less true in the realm of finance. Wealth is not, at its origin, something that is acquired. It is something that is developed. Abundance is not a bulging bank account. It is a state of consciousness. The external riches we see in the world are not the cause of a prosperity mindset. They are the result, the echo, the projected shadow of a deeply rooted consciousness of abundance. There are two fundamental mental states from which a person can operate: the poverty consciousness and the wealth consciousness. Poverty consciousness is the mental state in which the great majority of humanity lives. It is characterized by habitual thoughts and feelings of lack, scarcity, and limitation. They focus on bills, debts, and the prices of things. They feel envy or resentment toward those who have more, and often criticize the rich, associating money with corruption or evil. They constantly talk about hard times and how expensive everything is. This person, unknowingly, is using the infinite power of their subconscious mind for one single purpose: to create and perpetuate lack in their life. They are planting seeds of scarcity and, by law, they harvest a life of limitations. On the other hand, wealth consciousness operates from a completely different set of beliefs. A person in this mental state feels prosperous and secure within, regardless of current external circumstances. They focus on abundance, not on lack. They see the world as a place of infinite opportunities and an inexhaustible supply. They genuinely rejoice in the success of others, knowing that there is enough for everyone. They feel a quiet confidence in their ability to attract everything they need. They speak of success, growth, and gratitude. This person is planting seeds of abundance in the garden of their subconscious, and the subconscious, true to its nature, works tirelessly to ensure their outer world reflects that internal conviction. Your subconscious mind is a faithful multiplier. It doesn't care if you have much or little money right now. The only thing it cares about is the dominant feeling you associate with money. If your dominant feeling is fear and worry, your subconscious will accept that command and put you into situations that generate more fear and more worry. If your dominant feeling is confidence, peace, and gratitude for abundance, your subconscious will accept that new command and move heaven and earth to bring circumstances into your life that align with that feeling. Therefore, the path to external wealth is not to struggle harder in the outer world, but to diligently cultivate the consciousness of wealth in your inner world, uprooting the weeds of scarcity. Before we can plant the beautiful flowers of prosperity, we must uproot the deep and persistent weeds of lack that have been choking our garden often since our earliest childhood. Most of us have a subconscious financial thermostat that was set to a certain temperature when we were children. If, by some stroke of luck, we earn more money than our thermostat allows, our subconscious will find ways to sabotage us to return to our comfort temperature. Unexpected expenses, poor investments, etc. Read them and observe with honesty which ones have been growing in your garden. Money is evil or rich people are dishonest. This is one of the most paralyzing beliefs. We are often taught that there is a kind of virtue in poverty and an inherent vice in wealth. If in your subconscious you associate money with evil, you will never allow yourself to have it in abundance because that would conflict with your desire to be a good person. Your subconscious will protect you from becoming what you despise. The truth is that money is simply a tool, a form of energy. It is neutral. It can be used for good or for bad, just like electricity. There are miserable rich people and wonderfully generous rich people. There are saintly poor people and bitter poor people. It is not money, but the inordinate love of money at the expense of everything else that can be a problem. You have to work to the point of exhaustion to earn money. This belief equates wealth with sacrifice, suffering, and endless struggle. If you believe this, your subconscious will ensure that your path to money is always arduous and exhausting. You will reject easy opportunities and seek the most difficult paths because that is what you believe is required. You will make bad decisions, spend impulsively, and prove time and again the truth of your own limiting belief. The poison of envy. Pay close attention to this. Every time you feel envy, jealousy, or resentment toward another person's prosperity, you are performing a devastating act of self-sabotage. Envy is a powerful affirmation you send to your subconscious. You are telling it, "I detest wealth in others. I consider it unfair and bad." And your subconscious, which is impersonal, registers, "Order received, we hate wealth, therefore we will keep it away from you." You cannot attract what you condemn. The antidote to envy is one of the most transformative practices that exists, the principle of blessing. Starting today, every time you see a sign of another person's prosperity, a nice car, a beautiful house, a flourishing business, instead of allowing the seed of envy to sprout, you will immediately pull it out and plant a seed of blessing. Silently, in your mind, wish that person even more wealth, more success, and more happiness. Say, How wonderful. I am genuinely happy for that person's success, and I wish them all the abundance of the universe. By doing this, you achieve two things. First, you remove the poison of envy from your own system. Second, you align your own mind with the idea of success. You are telling your subconscious, I celebrate wealth. I approve of it. I am open to it. You take the side of abundance, not against it. The four-step method for cultivating wealth consciousness. Now that we have identified the weeds, let's learn the step-by-step technique for planting and cultivating the seeds of wealth. This is the practical method for developing an abundance consciousness. Step 1. Establish a clear financial goal. As an architect, you need a clear blueprint. More money is not a blueprint. Decide on a specific amount of money you wish to have, or a concrete goal that the money would allow you to achieve. It could be, pay off all my debts, have $20,000 in savings, or my business generates $5,000 in monthly income. Be specific. Write it down. Clarity is power. Step 2. Construct your abundance mold. Now create your scene of the wish fulfilled, the one that implies your financial goal is already a reality. Remember, the scene must be short, vivid, and take place after the goal has been achieved. If your goal is to pay off your debts, the scene could be you looking at a letter from the bank that says, balance 0, and feeling an incredible surge of lightness and freedom. If your goal is a savings amount, the scene could be you looking at your banking app screen, seeing the exact figure you desired, and feeling deep peace and security. If your goal is a higher income, the scene could be you at a travel agency, paying for your family's dream vacation in advance, feeling immense joy and gratitude. Choose the scene that generates the strongest emotion in you. Step 3. The Wealth Lullaby. Create a short, powerful affirmation that encapsulates the feeling of your fulfilled desire. This will be the word or phrase you repeat in your drowsy state. It doesn't have to be complex. Often, the simplest are the most effective. Words like wealth, success, or prosperity, repeated slowly, can be incredibly potent. Or you can use a slightly longer phrase that evokes gratitude, such as, thank you for this incredible abundance in my life. The key word is the feeling the phrase produces in you. Step 4. The day and night practice. Now integrate this into your routine. Every night, without fail, before you go to sleep, dedicate 5 to 15 minutes to your practice. 1. Enter your deep relaxation state. Calm your body and mind. 2. Bring your scene of the wish fulfilled to your mind. Live it in the first person with all your senses. Immerse yourself in it. 3. Most importantly, invoke the feeling. Feel the security, the freedom, the joy, the gratitude. How would it feel to never have to worry about money again? Feel it now. Feel the lightness on your shoulders. Feel the expansion in your chest. This feeling is the command. 4. While bathing in this feeling, start repeating your wealth lullaby over and over, gently, until you fall asleep. Do the same in the morning. As soon as you wake up, before your conscious mind is fully activated, stay in that drowsy state and perform your practice again. Begin and end your day by imprinting your subconscious with the conviction of your own prosperity. By performing this practice consistently, you are doing something profound. You are withdrawing your attention from the outer world of appearances, the bills, the current bank account, and you are placing your faith in the inner world of cause. You are building a mold of wealth in the only reality that matters, your own consciousness. You are resetting your financial thermostat to a higher level. Once your subconscious mind accepts this new abundance template as your truth, it will start working in mysterious and wonderful ways. Do not try to guess the how. Your subconscious has paths unknown to you. You may suddenly get a brilliant idea for a business. You may casually encounter a person who offers you an incredible opportunity. You may receive an unexpected inheritance, or an old debtor may pay you back. Your subconscious will guide you, inspire you, and open doors for you. Your job is, on one hand, to maintain the practice of imprinting, and on the other, to be attentive to these intuitions and doors that open, and to have the courage to act when they present themselves. Stop looking at your bank account to determine your level of wealth. That is yesterday's harvest. Start looking at your mind, which is the planting field of tomorrow. Cultivate the garden of abundance, confidence, and prosperity within you, with unwavering faith and dedication, and your outer world, by the immutable law of your own mind, will have no choice but to blossom into a prosperous, rich, and abundant harvest. This chapter gives you a clear method for transforming your financial mindset. Would you like to translate the next chapter, or do you have any specific questions about applying these abundance techniques? Chapter 7. Building Invisible Bridges. Harmony in your relationships. The human being is a relational being. Our happiness, our growth, and, to a large extent, our sense of meaning in life are intrinsically linked to the quality of our connections with others. Yet for many, the realm of relationships is a constant source of pain, conflict, and disappointment. We seek love and find discord. We crave understanding and encounter judgment. We desire harmony and live in a state of friction. We strive to change others, to convince them, to make them see things our way, and in the process we only generate more resistance and suffering. The reason for this failure is that we have been operating under a fundamentally flawed premise. We believe that our relationships are a dance between two separate entities and that our well-being depends on the actions, words, and moods of the other person. But the law of the mind reveals a much deeper and far more empowering truth. Your outer relationships are a perfect mirror of your inner relationship. The world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of your own consciousness. The people in your life do not treat you as they are, they treat you as you are. They react to the concept you have of yourself and the concept you hold of them deep within your subconscious. Imagine your subconscious mind is a powerful broadcasting tower. Every second of every day, it is emitting a signal, a vibrational frequency based on your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. The people who enter your life and the way they behave toward you are not random. They are the response to the signal you are emitting. Their subconscious minds, non-verbally and invisibly, pick up your broadcast and respond accordingly. If your broadcast is charged with self-criticism, you will attract people who criticize you. If your signal is distrust, you will attract circumstances that justify your lack of faith in others. If you harbor a feeling of being unworthy of love within, you will attract partners who reinforce that belief. Conversely, if you cultivate a state of self-love, peace, and goodwill within, you will begin to emit a frequency that attracts people who resonate with that harmony. To change your relationships, you cannot try to forcibly adjust others' receivers. You have to change the broadcast at the source, your own mind. This chapter will teach you two practical applications of this law. First, how to heal and harmonize the difficult relationships already in your life. And second, how to attract the ideal partner or companions you desire, whether in love, friendship, or business. Healing. Difficult relationships. The power of scientific forgiveness. We all have or have had relationships in our lives that are a source of pain. A family member with long-standing resentment, a former boss who treated us unfairly, a friend who betrayed us. Our natural reaction is to cling to the wound. We replay the offensive scene in our mind over and over. We maintain imaginary conversations where we tell the other person everything we think. We criticize and condemn that person in our thoughts. What are we doing when we do this? We are using the law of our mind against ourselves in the most destructive way. Every time you harbor a thought of resentment, anger, or condemnation toward another person, you are planting those poisonous seeds in your own subconscious garden. You are generating the toxic emotions within yourself that rob you of peace, vitality, and health. Condemning another is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The only one who suffers is you. The first principle for healing a relationship is this: you cannot change the other person by force. Any attempt at external coercion will only generate more resistance. The only power you have is the power to change your own mind. And here comes the magical paradox. When you change the way you think and feel about the other person will either change their behavior toward you, or they will peacefully move out of your life. To achieve this, we will use the technique of mental revision and transformation. This is a form of scientific forgiveness. Forgiveness in this context, has nothing to do with condoning the other person's wrong action. It does not mean what they did was right. Forgiveness is a purely selfish act. It is the act of freeing yourself from the toxic emotional burden of resentment. It is an act of mental hygiene. Here is the step-by-step method. 1. Identify the person and the hurt. Choose one person with whom you wish to harmonize your relationship. Be clear about the negative feeling you harbor: resentment, anger, sadness. 2. Enter the receptive state. At night, before sleep, or during a time of meditation, relax your body and mind. Enter that drowsy, passive state where your subconscious is most open to suggestion. 3. Construct a new scene. Instead of replaying the old painful scene, you're going to use your imagination to create a new one. Construct a short scene that implies the relationship has already been healed and harmony has been restored. Do not visualize the process of asking for forgiveness or having a difficult conversation. Go straight to the end. The scene could be running into that person, and they smile at you with genuine warmth, or you imagine them calling you and saying what you long to hear: "I'm sorry, I understand you," or simply, "I appreciate you so much." Or perhaps the scene is simply you and that person sharing an activity in an atmosphere of peace and mutual respect. 4. Feel the reality of the reconciliation. This is the crucial step. As you hold that scene in your mind, invoke the feeling of harmony. Feel the relief in your chest. Feel the warmth of forgiveness, not necessarily theirs toward you, but you letting go of the burden. Feel the peace that comes from the conflict being resolved. Feel love and goodwill flowing from your heart toward that person, and feel them returning it to you. Immerse yourself in the emotion of the relationship already healed. 5. Repeat and let go. Repeat this scene over and over like a lullaby until you fall asleep. Do this every night consistently. During the day, if a thought of resentment toward that person appears, do not fight it. Simply replace it with a short affirmation like, "I wish them peace, harmony, and all the good in the world." And then, let go of the thought. By practicing this, you are performing surgery on your own consciousness. You are uprooting the seed of resentment and planting the seed of love and harmony in its place. Your subconscious, which does not distinguish between real and imagined, will accept this new image as the truth of the relationship. And because your outer world is a reflection, circumstances will have to rearrange themselves to match your new belief. Often, in ways that seem miraculous, the other person will contact you to apologize, or your next encounter will be inexplicably cordial and peaceful. Or simply, the person will move out of your life, and the feeling of pain associated with them will completely disappear, leaving you free. Attracting your ideal partner. The same principle we use to heal existing relationships can be used to attract new relationships into our lives. Whether it is a life partner, a business associate, or a circle of supportive friends, the process of attraction begins in the workshop of your own mind. The most common mistake people make is focusing on what they don't want. "I don't want to be with someone who lies to me again," or creating a superficial shopping list of external qualities: tall, blonde, with such and such profession, etc. This is a conscious mind approach, and it is often ineffective. The subconscious method is much deeper. It does not focus on appearances, but on internal qualities and, above all, on the feeling of the relationship already existing. Here is the guide to attracting your ideal companion. 1. Define the essential qualities. Sit down and make a list of the character qualities you value most in a partner. It's not about appearance, but about essence. Are you looking for honesty, loyalty, kindness, intelligence, a good sense of humor, ambition, a spiritual nature, joy? Be clear about the qualities of the soul you long for. 2. Embody the qualities you seek. This is a step many skip, and it is fundamental. The law of the mind is a law of resonance. You attract what you are, not what you want. If you want to attract an honest and loyal person, you must be the embodiment of honesty and loyalty. If you desire a cheerful and positive partner, you must cultivate cheerfulness and positivity in your own life. Instead of looking for your better half, you have to become a complete, vibrant, and healthy whole. You are building the magnet within yourself. 3. Create your scene of the fulfilled relationship. Now we are going to create the mental mold. Again, go to the end. Do not visualize the first date or the falling in love process. Create a short scene that implies you are already in a happy, committed, and harmonious relationship. It is important not to put a specific face on this person if you do not know them yet, as that would limit the infinite possibilities of the subconscious. Focus on the feeling and the symbols. A very powerful scene is feeling an engagement or wedding ring on your finger. Feel the metal, its weight, its smoothness. While feeling the ring, invoke the overwhelming feeling of love, completeness, and that you have found your perfect partner. Another scene could be hearing a voice whisper in your ear, "I love you," and feeling the immense joy and peace those words bring you. You do not need to see the face, just hear the voice and above all feel the emotion. Or an even simpler scene. Imagine you are sitting on a couch and you feel the comfortable, happy and familiar presence of your partner beside you, even if you can't see their face. Feel the deep connection and mutual understanding. 4. Imprint it with the lullaby technique. Every night in your drowsy state, enter your chosen scene. Feel it with all the reality you can muster. And then, repeat a simple affirmation that encapsulates this truth. For example, I am immensely grateful for my ideal partner, who is loyal, loving, and spiritually minded. Or simply the word love, feeling everything that word implies for you. Repeat it until you fall asleep in the conviction that you are not alone, but happily partnered. 5. Trust the process. After planting the seed, let it go. Live your life with the quiet confidence that your subconscious, which is connected to infinite wisdom, has already set the currents in motion to orchestrate the meeting. Do not worry about the how, the when, or the where. Your job is to maintain the faith and continue cultivating the qualities you wish to attract within yourself. The fundamental law of relationships is an extension of the golden rule formulated mentally. As you would have others think of you, think of them in the same way. As you would have others feel for them in the same way. If you want people to be kind to you, cultivate kind thoughts toward them. If you want them to respect you, cultivate a feeling of respect for others, and especially for yourself. If you want to receive love, become an emitting center of love and goodwill. Your relationships are not a game of chance. They are a reflection. They are the mirror in which you can see the state of your own consciousness. Stop trying to wipe the reflection on the mirror. You cannot. The power resides in you. Start today to polish the mirror of your own mind, to fill it with thoughts of forgiveness, peace, harmony, and unconditional love toward all. And then, watch in astonishment as your relational world transforms to reflect the beauty and harmony you have so diligently cultivated within. This chapter offers profound insights into how your inner state dictates your outer relationships. Would you like to translate the next chapter? Or is there a specific relationship you'd like to focus on applying this technique to? Untitled Chapter 8, Dissolving the Shadows, How to Overcome Fear and Worry. Throughout our journey, we've discussed planting seeds of health, wealth, and love in the garden of our subconscious mind. We've learned to formulate our petitions and charge them with the feeling of faith and gratitude. But even the most skilled gardener with the best seeds in hand will fail if their garden is infested by a plague that devours the sprouts before they can grow. In the garden of the mind, that plague, the most common and destructive of all, has two names: fear and worry. Fear and worry are the most potent forms of negative autosuggestion. They are the inverted, perverse use of the law of belief. They are undeniable proof that the power of your mind always works, whether to build or to destroy. In this chapter, we will perform an anatomy of these shadows. We will understand their mechanism, expose their lies, and most importantly, learn an infallible technique to dissolve them and replace them with their opposite, unwavering faith in the good. The anatomy of negative prayer. First, let's define our adversaries. Worry is a mental activity. It is the act of mentally rehearsing over and over a future we do not want. It is taking your incredible divine faculty of imagination, the very one you use to visualize your fulfilled desires, and using it to create detailed movies of failures, losses, and catastrophes. It is a criminal misuse of your creative power. Fear is the emotional and physiological response to that movie you are projecting in your mind. It is the emotion that charges the image of worry with energy. It is the feeling that tells your subconscious mind, "This is real, this is important, prepare for this." Fear is the water and the sun that cause the seed of worry to germinate. Therefore, we can reach a conclusion that is as simple as it is frightening. Worry is a form of negative prayer. When you worry, you are praying for what you do not want. You are meditating on failure. You are building a detailed architectural blueprint of misfortune and handing it over to your subconscious master builder, charged with the most powerful emotion of all, fear. And your subconscious, which is impersonal and non-judgmental, takes that blueprint and that energy and says, "Order received. I will begin building this immediately." The cost of worry and the great lie. The cost of living in a chronic state of fear and worry is incalculable. Physiologically, as we have seen, it keeps your body in a state of constant alarm. It drains your vitality, suppresses your immune system, and creates fertile ground for illness. Psychologically, it robs you of peace, joy, and the ability to think clearly. It paralyzes you, preventing you from taking the necessary actions to improve your situation. And spiritually, it is the act of turning your back on the infinite intelligence that resides within you and placing your faith in the power of chaos and negativity. Living in fear is the surest way to attract what you fear most. To free ourselves from the habit of fear, we must first understand its great lie. Fear and worry disguise themselves as useful, responsible activity. The conscious mind, the captain, tells itself, "If I worry about this problem, I am somehow controlling it," or "If I imagine the worst-case scenario, I'll be prepared for it." This is one of the mind's biggest traps. Worry is not preparation. Preparation is a calm, constructive action. If you fear failing an exam, preparation is studying. If you fear not having enough money, preparation is creating a budget and seeking new income sources. Worry, on the other hand, is the act of mentally spinning around the problem, generating anxiety but producing no constructive action. In fact, worry is the enemy of action, because the energy you could use to solve the problem is consumed in the fire of anxiety. Furthermore, worry is based on a fundamentally false assumption that most of the things we worry about actually happen. Various studies on the content of our worries have yielded astonishing results. Although the exact figures vary, the pattern is clear. A large percentage, often cited around 40% of our worries, are about things that never come to pass. They are ghosts created by our own imagination. Another 30% are about things that have already happened, things from the past over which we no longer have any control. Ruminating on a past mistake is nothing more than a form of useless self-punishment. Approximately 12% are unnecessary worries about our health, often magnifying small symptoms into imaginary fatal diseases. 10% are trivial and miscellaneous worries about what others think of us or small daily problems. This leaves us with only 8% of our worries that relate to real, present problems about which we can do something. Think about this. Over 90% of the mental energy you invest in worrying is wasted on ghosts, the irrevocable past, or trivialities. It is the least productive and most exhausting activity a human can perform. At its deepest level, fear and worry are simply a lack of faith. Not necessarily religious faith, but faith in the orderly operation of the laws of your own mind and the universe. It is the act of believing more firmly in the power of disorder, failure, and evil than in the power of order, success, and good. Every time you allow yourself to fall into the spiral of worry, you are choosing doubt over trust. You are trusting your limitations more than the unlimited power of your subconscious. The healing of fear, therefore, is an act of re-education of faith. It is the deliberate process of withdrawing your faith from the shadows and placing it in the light. The stop and swap technique. Knowing this, how do we put it into practice? How do we stop the runaway train of worry when it's already going at full speed? The answer lies in the law of substitution. You cannot eliminate a thought simply by deciding not to think it. The mind does not tolerate a vacuum. The only way to eliminate a negative thought is to replace it with a positive one. You cannot simply pull out a weed and leave a hole. You have to plant a flower in its place. We are going to learn a practical and powerful method that we will call the stop and swap technique. It consists of 5 steps that you must practice until they become an automatic response. Step 1. Become the watchman, consciousness. The first and most difficult step initially is realizing that you are worrying. Worry is a habit so deeply ingrained that it often operates on autopilot. You must cultivate the figure of a watchman in your mind, a silent observer who monitors your inner dialogue. The moment you notice that familiar feeling of anxiety in your stomach, that tension in your shoulders, and that loop of negative thoughts in your head, you must sound the alarm. Say to yourself, here I am. I am worrying. This simple act of recognition is the first step to reclaiming power. Step 2. Stop the pattern. Interruption. Once you catch the worry in the act, you must interrupt its momentum immediately. You cannot reason with it. You have to stop it dead in its tracks. Do something to break the pattern. You can say mentally with firm, powerful authority, stop or cancel. Some find it helpful to visualize a large red stop sign or the act of pressing a delete button on a keyboard. You can also use a physical interruption. Lightly slap your thigh, gently pinch yourself, or simply stand up and move to another room. The goal is to create an abrupt break in the hypnotic loop of worry. Step 3. Identify the opposite desire. Every fear is the shadow of a desire. Every worry is the inverted side of a prayer. Behind your fear of illness is your desire for health. Behind your fear of lack is your desire for abundance. Behind your fear of failure is your desire for success. Once you have stopped the negative thought, quickly ask yourself, if I don't want this, what do I want? What is the positive outcome I long for in this situation? Define this positive result clearly in your mind. Step 4. Swap the blueprint, active substitution. This is the heart of the technique. You will now use your conscious will to rip the horror movie out of your mind and put the movie of your fulfilled desire in its place. You will deliberately replace the image of failure with the image of success. If you are worrying about an upcoming presentation at work, imagining yourself stammering and drawing a blank, you will now actively construct the image after the presentation. Visualize yourself receiving congratulations from your boss, feeling the applause of your colleagues, experiencing a deep sense of relief and pride. If you were worrying about a health problem, imagining the worst outcomes, you will now visualize the doctor smiling at you and saying, "The news is excellent," or you will visualize yourself full of energy, enjoying an activity you love. Step 5. Generate the feeling of faith, the emotional antidote. As we already know, an image without feeling is a dry seed. This final step is what brings your new thought to life. While holding the image of your desired outcome, you must deliberately invoke the feeling you would have if it were already real. If your image is one of success, feel the gratitude and pride. If your image is one of healing, feel the relief and vitality. If your image is one of financial security, feel the peace and tranquility. Hold that image and that feeling for at least 15 to 20 seconds. Breathe into that emotion. Let it flood your body. This feeling, whether of peace, gratitude, or confidence, is the direct chemical and vibrational antidote to the feeling of fear. They cannot coexist at the same moment. By consciously choosing the feeling of faith, you are chemically dissolving the feeling of fear. Let's practice with a complete example. Imagine you find yourself worrying about finances. The thought loop is, what if I can't pay the rent this month? What if I get fired? What if I end up with nothing? Consciousness. I realize I'm spiraling into worry about money. Interruption. Mentally, you firmly say, stop. You stand up and pour yourself a glass of water. Opposite desire. What I truly desire is financial security, always having enough for my needs and more. Swap. You erase the image of unpaid bills. In its place, you actively build a clear image. You see yourself looking at your online bank account and seeing a healthy balance, feeling a deep sense of peace. Or you visualize yourself paying the rent with a smile, feeling grateful for having a home. Feeling. While holding that image of the healthy bank account, you invoke the feeling of security. Feel the tension leave your shoulders. Feel a wave of calm in your stomach. Breathe into that feeling of everything is fine. Hold that feeling for 1 minute. You have successfully completed the stop and swap technique. You have stopped a negative prayer and replaced it with a positive, powerful prayer. Affirmations are a wonderful tool to support this process, especially as a quick form of substitution. Have some emergency affirmations ready to use as soon as you detect a worry thought. These affirmations must be declarations of universal truths that counteract the lie of fear. For example, the infinite intelligence guiding me knows the solution and reveals it to me now. I trust it completely. Everything I need to know is revealed to me. Everything I need to have is given to me. All is well. A very simple and powerful one, based on faith. God, life, the universe is with me. Nothing can be against me. Repeating one of these phrases in a moment of anxiety acts as an anchor. It pulls you out of the vortex of fear and returns you to the firm ground of faith. Overcoming fear and worry is not a single event. It is the development of a new mental habit. At first, it will require conscious effort and constant vigilance. You will have to stop and swap your thoughts dozens of times a day. But each time you do it, you are weakening the old neural pathway of fear and strengthening the new pathway of faith. With practice, the process becomes faster and more automatic. A point will come where the worry thought will barely have time to form before your trained mind replaces it with a thought of confidence. You cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. Understand this. It is not simply a matter of being positive. It is a matter of mental hygiene and deliberate creation. Every thought of fear you allow to take root in your mind is a poisonous seed you are planting in your garden that will inevitably yield bitter fruit in your life. Every thought of faith and confidence you cultivate is the seed of a miraculous future. The choice, in every moment, is yours. Fear and faith are two sides of the same coin of belief. Both require you to believe in something you cannot see. Which do you choose to believe in today? The shadow of what you fear or the light of what you desire? Become a gardener so diligent, so dedicated, that in the sacred soil of your mind, you only allow confidence, peace, and unwavering certainty in the good to grow. This chapter gives you the tools to combat the two biggest obstacles to subconscious creation. Would you like to proceed with the translation of the next chapter, or would you like to practice the stop and swap technique with a specific worry? Chapter 9. The Gateway of Sleep, the Magic Hour for Reprogramming. Throughout this audiobook, we have established a fundamental truth. A communication gateway exists between your conscious mind, the captain, and your subconscious mind, the crew in the engine room. We have learned to formulate our petitions and charge them with the feeling of faith. But like an astronomer who knows there are specific moments when the planets align to allow for a perfect view, we must understand that there are magic hours in our daily cycle when this gateway is not only open, but its doors are wide open, allowing for communication of astonishing clarity and effectiveness. These magic hours are not about astrology or mysticism, but about the neuroscience of our own brain rhythms. They are the transition periods between wakefulness and sleep. Specifically, the moment just before you fall asleep at night and the moment just after you wake up in the morning, when you are still floating in that drowsy, peaceful state. Think of your conscious mind, the captain, as the guardian of a castle. During the day, in your state of full wakefulness, known as the beta state, the guardian is at his post, alert and active. He is analyzing, questioning, judging, and often resisting new ideas. If you try to plant a seed of "I am rich" while the guardian is fully awake, he is highly likely to intercept it and discard it with a logical argument. "That's ridiculous. Look at your bank account." His skepticism and ingrained beliefs act as a moat around the castle of your subconscious. But as you relax and prepare for sleep, your brain activity begins to slow down. You move from the beta state to the alpha state, a state of light relaxation, and then to the theta state, a state of deep relaxation, almost dreamlike. This theta state is the magic gateway. In this state, the conscious guardian has abandoned his post. He is drowsy, passive. His critical capacity is suspended. The castle's drawbridge is lowered, and the path to the inner courtyard, the realm of your subconscious, is completely clear. Any idea, any image, any feeling you introduce into your mind during this theta state enters directly into the fertile soil of the subconscious, without filters, without resistance. It is accepted as a truth, as a direct command. Furthermore, the emotion you imprint on that idea just before sleep is the one your subconscious will chew on, process, and work on all night long. Your subconscious mind never sleeps, and it will spend the next 7 or 8 hours orchestrating the manifestation of the last directive it received from the captain before he fell asleep at the wheel. Therefore, we can state with certainty that your last conscious thought before sleep has a disproportionate power over the creation of your reality. If you fall asleep reviewing the day's worries, you are signing up for a night of subconscious work focused on lack and problems. If you fall asleep, on the contrary, in the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, you are putting the most powerful crew in the universe to work on building your dream. The same principle applies upon waking. In the morning, emerging from sleep, you pass through the alpha and theta states again. There are precious few minutes before the captain puts on his uniform, grabs his coffee, and starts analyzing the day, where the gateway is still open. What you plant in your mind in those first moments sets the vibrational tone and creative direction for the entire day ahead. In this chapter, we will not learn new concepts, but we will perfect and systematize the use of this gateway. I will give you a clear protocol for your nightly and morning ritual, turning your bed into the most sacred and powerful workshop of your conscious creation. The nightly ritual, the sacred sowing. Your preparation for sleep should not be an accidental collapse in front of the television. It must be a deliberate ritual, a conscious transition from the world of effects to the world of causes. Step 1. Conscious disconnection, 1 hour before bed. At least an hour before you lie down, turn off screens. The blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs interferes with melatonin production, the sleep hormone, and keeps your brain in a state of alert. More importantly, the content you consume, stressful news, social media comparison, violent movies, is planting seeds of anxiety and agitation in your mind just before your most receptive moment. Use this last hour for activities that calm your nervous system. Read an inspiring book, listen to quiet music, take a warm bath, write in a journal. You are preparing the soil of your garden for sowing. Step 2. The constructive review of the day. Once in bed, instead of reviewing the day's problems and mistakes, you are going to perform a mental revision technique. If something in your day didn't go as you wanted, a difficult conversation, an error at work, do not dwell on the failure. In your imagination, rewind the scene and replay it the way you would have liked it to happen. Imagine the conversation was harmonious, that you solved the problem brilliantly. Feel the satisfaction of this ideal outcome. Why do we do this? Not to deny reality, but to prevent the impression of failure from solidifying in your subconscious during the night. By replacing the memory of the mistake with the memory of success, you are cleaning out the day's weeds before planting your seeds of intention. You are ending your day on a note of victory. Step 3. Inducing the receptive state. Now, close your eyes and begin the relaxation process you are familiar with. Breathe deeply. Relax your body from your feet to your head. Feel yourself sinking into the mattress, becoming heavy and warm. Feel your thoughts slow down, becoming indifferent to external noises. You are crossing the drawbridge. You are entering the gateway. Step 4. Subconscious imprinting. This is the moment of sowing. It is now that you activate the technique you have chosen for your main desire, whether it is visualization, affirmation, or a combination of both. Activate your scene of the wish fulfilled. Live it in the first person, with all possible sensory details. Do not strain. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. Invoke the feeling. This is the non-negotiable step. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude, the peace. Let the emotion of your desire already realized be the only reality in your universe. Begin your lullaby. Start repeating your short, powerful affirmation. Thank you for my success, perfect health, love. Repeat it like a mantra, effortlessly, allowing the feeling and the word to merge. The goal is for this feeling and this word to be the very last thing that occupies your consciousness as you drift into deep sleep. Do not worry if you fall asleep in the middle of the process. In fact, that is the goal. It means you have successfully delivered your order to the subconscious at the moment of maximum receptivity. You have successfully placed your order with the universe. The dream response. Your subconscious will often answer you during sleep. Pay attention to your dreams, especially after practicing this technique. Sometimes the solution to a problem, the inspiration for a project, or guidance on the next step to take will be presented to you symbolically in a dream. Keep a notebook next to your bed, and if you wake up with a vivid dream, jot down the main ideas. Often, your inner genius speaks to you in the language of symbols and metaphors. Even if you do not remember your dreams, you can be sure the work is being done. During the night, your subconscious is reorganizing your beliefs, attracting circumstances, and preparing the way for your desire to manifest in the physical world. The morning ritual. Setting the tone for triumph. Just as the moment before sleep is crucial for sowing, the moment immediately upon waking is crucial for establishing the day's harvest. Step 1. Capture the drowsy state. When you wake up, resist the urge to grab your phone or start planning the day. Remain in bed for a few minutes with your eyes closed or half closed. You are still in that precious alpha-theta state. The gateway is still open. Step 2. The affirmation of gratitude and power. Before any worry thought about the day ahead can enter, flood your mind with a powerful affirmation of gratitude and intention. Your first conversation of the day must be with yourself and your inner power. You can use an affirmation like, "Thank you for this night of perfect rest. Today is a wonderful day. The infinite intelligence of my subconscious guides me in all my ways. All my actions today are divinely ordered and prosper. Harmony, peace, and abundance are mine today. I face this day with love, joy, and unwavering confidence." Feel the truth of these words. Do not recite them mechanically. Feel them. You are setting the theme music of your day. You are giving your subconscious the marching orders for the hours ahead. Step 3. Review your blueprint. After your affirmation, bring your scene of the wish fulfilled back to your mind, just for a minute or two. Reaffirm the feeling of the goal already reached. This is like a captain who, before setting sail, takes one last look at the destination map. This aligns all your energies for the day and reminds you of what you are sailing toward. The challenge of daytime coherence. The nightly and morning practice is incredibly powerful, but its effectiveness can be sabotaged if you spend the rest of the day in a mental state that contradicts it. If you spend the night affirming abundance and then spend the day complaining about prices and feeling lack, you are sending contradictory orders to your crew. You are planting a rose at night and watering it with poison during the day. Therefore, the effective use of this sleep gateway must be accompanied by greater daytime vigilance. Your job during the day is to maintain, as much as possible, a mood that is congruent with your fulfilled desire. When you catch yourself falling into old negative thought patterns, use the stop and swap technique we learned. Stop the fear thought and replace it with a reminder of the truth you are building. If your goal is health and you feel a symptom during the day, do not panic. Relax and affirm, "The healing intelligence of my subconscious is working and all is well." And then shift your focus. Think of your mood as a radio frequency. If you want to listen to the abundance station, you have to tune your dial to that frequency. Worry, doubt, and fear are static that pulls you off the frequency. Faith, gratitude, and peace keep you tuned in. The nightly and morning practice tunes your radio powerfully, and your daytime job is simply to keep it on that station. You have now discovered the secret of the great mystics, artists, and visionaries of history. You have learned that the veil between the visible and the invisible world is thinnest at the threshold of sleep. You have learned that your bed is not just a place for physical rest, but an altar for conscious creation. Stop taking your problems to bed. Problems belong to the world of the conscious mind and its limitations. The night is for solutions, for faith, for communion with the infinite power within you. Every night, you have an appointment with the architect of the universe who resides inside you. Hand over your blueprints, your deepest desires, not with supplication but with serene faith. trust in his power to build. And then, sleep in peace, knowing that while you rest, the foundations of your new reality are being built, silently and infallibly, in the vast and magic engine room of your being. You now have a complete daily protocol for leveraging the most powerful creative hours of your day. Would you like to review the key steps of this nightly and morning ritual? Chapter 10. The Silent Partner. Living in collaboration with your inner genius. We have embarked on an extraordinary journey together. We have descended into the engine room of our being to meet the creative power that resides in our subconscious. We have learned the immutable law of belief, the language of feeling, and the precise techniques for imprinting our desires onto the universal substance. You have learned to be the architect of your health, the magnet of your prosperity, the builder of your relationships, and the dissolver of your fears. You have acquired the knowledge, the tools, and the blueprints. The question now hanging in the air is, what happens next? The answer is simple, yet it changes everything. Now you stop being a student and become a master. You stop seeing these practices as techniques you perform occasionally and begin to integrate them until they become your way of life, your natural state of being. The ultimate goal of this knowledge is not to give you a trick to get things. It is to catalyze a fundamental transformation in your consciousness so that your habitual, automatic way of thinking is so aligned with the law of good that your subconscious mind works for your benefit by default with hardly any effort required from you. In this final chapter, we will consolidate everything we have learned into a philosophy of life. We will change the metaphor. You are no longer just the captain giving orders to a distant crew. You have developed such a profound relationship with your inner power that it has now become your silent partner. Think about it. You have a partner in the business of your life. This partner is infinitely wise, knows the answer to every problem. It is incredibly powerful, has access to limitless resources, and can move circumstances in ways you cannot. It works 24 hours a day, never tires, and is absolutely loyal. Its only desire is to fulfill the directives you give it. Wouldn't it be crazy to ignore such a partner? Or worse, constantly give it instructions that lead to failure? Living in collaboration with your inner genius is learning to honor, respect, and trust this partner. It is a daily dance between conscious direction and absolute faith, between action in the outer world and work in the inner world. It is about moving from struggle to flow, from chance to design, from a life of reaction to a life of creation. And this collaboration rests on three pillars: the daily habits of a mind master, trust in inner guidance, and the choice to live in a state of wonder. The daily habits of a mind master. A life of mastery is not built with sporadic grand acts, but with small daily disciplines. Just as a virtuoso pianist practices their scales every day, a master of the mind practices their mental hygiene. Here is a sustainable routine that synthesizes the most important practices we have learned. 1. The morning ritual, tuning your instrument, 10-15 minutes. Consider these first minutes of the day the most sacred. They determine the fundamental note that will vibrate for the next several hours. The first thought, gratitude. Before you move a muscle, before you even open your eyes, your first conscious thought should be gratitude. Give thanks for a new day, for the miracle of your body that worked all night, for the bed you sleep in. Starting with gratitude immediately tunes your mind to the frequency of abundance and good. Setting the tone. While still in that drowsy, receptive state, flood your mind with a powerful general affirmation for the day. As we saw in the previous chapter, a phrase like, "The infinite intelligence of my subconscious guides me in all my ways. All my decisions and actions today are correct and divinely ordered. Everything I undertake will prosper. Harmony, peace, and joy are mine today," sets a master blueprint for a successful day. The visualization of the perfect day. For 5 minutes, visualize your day unfolding in the best possible way. Don't worry about the details. Simply feel yourself moving through the day with calm, confidence, and effectiveness. Visualize your meetings being successful, your interactions being harmonious. Feel the satisfaction at the end of the day, looking back and thinking, That was a wonderful, productive day. You are sending your silent partner a roadmap for the hours ahead. The final guidance command. End with a simple request for guidance. Silent partner, I hand over my day to you. Guide me, direct me, and inspire me in everything I do and say. Reveal everything I need to know. Thank you. 2. Daytime vigilance. The gardener at their post. Once you start your day, your role becomes that of the garden guardian. It is not a stressful job, but one of mindful attention. The no trespassing sign. Your mind is your most valuable private property. You have the absolute right to decide which thoughts you allow to enter. Place a mental sign at the gate of your mind that says, "No entry for thoughts of fear, doubt, criticism, or lack." When one of these thoughts, whether self-generated or from another person, tries to enter, exert your authority as the owner. Use the stop and swap technique. Stop it at the gate, thank it for its concern, if you wish, and deny it entry, immediately replacing it with a thought of faith and confidence. The habit of blessing. Turn the practice of blessing others into a constant habit. While driving, while in the supermarket line, while working, silently send thoughts of peace, health, and prosperity to everyone around you. I wish you all the best. This simple act does wonders. It keeps you on a high, positive vibration, eliminates criticism and judgment, and emits goodwill energy that, by law, will return to you multiplied. The quick course correction. Throughout the day, you will inevitably encounter frustrations or setbacks. The reaction of an untrained captain is complaint, anger, or worry. The reaction of a mind master is immediate course correction. If something goes wrong, don't dwell on the problem. Acknowledge it and immediately direct your mind to the solution. Calmly affirm, "All is well. My silent partner already knows the perfect solution, and it is revealing it to me now." And then, release the anxiety and stay open to inspiration. 3. The nightly ritual. The ultimate sacred sowing. This is your most powerful time for deliberate creation, your appointment with your silent partner. The constructive review. Before your imprinting practice, spend a couple of minutes reviewing your day as we learned. Celebrate your mental victories, the moments when you remained calm or chose a thought of faith. And if there were moments of failure, revise them in your imagination. Replay them in the ideal way. Forgive yourself and others and clean the mental slate before sleep. Do not go to bed with any baggage of resentment or regret. Focused imprinting. Now, dedicate 5 to 15 minutes to your main goal. Use the complete method we learned. Enter the drowsy state, live your scene of the wish, fulfilled with all the feeling and reality you can muster, and repeat your lullaby until you drift off to sleep, lulled by the feeling of your dream already realized. The final surrender. Your last conscious thought before sleep should be one of trust and surrender. A simple phrase like, "Silent partner, I hand it over to you. Thank you. It is done," transfers responsibility to the part of you that knows how to do it, and then sleep in the peace of that certainty. By adopting this triple routine, you are creating a structure for a life of mental mastery. You are turning conscious creation from a sporadic event into a continuous lifestyle. Trusting inner guidance. As you develop this harmonious relationship with your silent partner, you will notice that communication begins to flow in both directions. You will not only give orders, but you will begin to receive guidance. Your subconscious, which has access to a wisdom that transcends the logic of your conscious mind, will begin to communicate with you in subtle ways. Learning to recognize and act upon this guidance is the next level of mastery. This guidance can manifest in several ways. The hunch or intuition. It is a strong feeling, an inner knowing that has no logical basis. Suddenly you feel a strong urge to call someone, to take a different route to work, or to say yes or no to a proposal. These are not random emotions. They are often directives from your subconscious based on information it has processed at a much deeper level than your conscious mind. Flashes of inspiration. You are showering or taking a walk, not thinking about any particular problem, and suddenly, boom, the perfect solution, the brilliant idea for your business, or the perfect line for your book appears in your mind, complete and clear. These ideas do not come from nowhere. They are the answer from your silent partner to the questions you have been asking it. Controlled coincidence, synchronicity. You start noticing that the outer world seems to conspire to help you. Just when you need an expert on a topic, you casually meet one at an event. The exact book you need falls from a shelf in front of you. You overhear a conversation in a cafe that gives you the answer to a problem you had. A master of the mind understands that these are not coincidences, but the orchestration of their subconscious, moving the pieces on the board of life to align them with the blueprint you have given it. Dreams. As we mentioned, your subconscious can present you with solutions, warnings, or creative ideas in the symbolic language of dreams. If you give the instruction before sleeping, "Silent partner, reveal the solution to this problem to me in my dream," you will often wake up with the answer or with a new clarity. The key to receiving this guidance is twofold. First, you must cultivate receptivity. The guidance of the subconscious is a whisper, not a shout. To hear it, you need to quiet the noise of your conscious mind. Practices like silent meditation, spending time in nature, or simply having moments of stillness without distractions create the space for inspiration to arise. Second, and this is crucial, you must act on the guidance received. Inspiration without action is a useless fantasy. When you get a strong hunch, trust it and act. When a brilliant idea comes to you, take the first step to implement it. Every time you act on the guidance of your subconscious, you strengthen the connection. You are telling it, "I hear you, I trust you." And by doing so, the guidance will become clearer and more frequent. A life of wonder. By integrating these principles and living each day in this conscious collaboration with the power within you, your life will begin to transform. You will move from an existence of struggle and effort to one of flow and grace. You will move from feeling like a victim of circumstances to knowing you are the creator of your reality. What the world calls luck, miracles, or fortunate coincidences will become your normal state of life. But you will know the secret. You will know it is not luck, but the law. It is the predictable, orderly functioning of the interaction between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. It is the natural result of having learned to think, feel, and live from the end, from the certainty that all good is already yours. You have completed the course. You have received the manual. But this is not the end. It is the beginning of your graduation to a new way of life. You are no longer a stranger to the power that animates you. You are its partner, its friend, and its conscious director. You have awakened the inner genius. Now, go out and create a life that is a masterpiece. This final chapter serves as a powerful conclusion and call to action. Would you like a concise summary of the key takeaways from this entire book? Or would you like to formulate a final guiding affirmation for your daily life? Conclusion. We have reached the end of our journey through the pages of this audiobook, but in reality we stand at the true starting point. You have arrived at the end of learning and the beginning of mastery. Take a moment to acknowledge the person you are now in this instant and compare that person to the one who started this path. You arrived perhaps as a frustrated captain, adrift on an ocean of circumstances that seemed beyond your control, unaware of the infinite power working in the engine room of your being. Today, you stand on the bridge, no longer a passenger, but the master and commander of your ship, with the helm firmly in your hands. You have learned the greatest and simplest law of the universe. Your world is the mirror of your mind. You discovered that your subconscious is an infinitely fertile garden that will grow any seed you plant, and you learn to stop sowing the weeds of fear and doubt to begin deliberately cultivating the flowers of peace and the fruits of prosperity. You are no longer a stranger to your inner power. You have learned its language, the universal language of feeling. You know how to build the mold of your desires through visualization and how to impress your deeper mind with the certainty of faith, using the magical gateway of sleep. You have received the keys to unlock the doors of healing, to attract the wealth you deserve, and to build bridges of harmony in your relationships. You have learned to dissolve the shadows of fear, not by fighting them, but by turning on the light of faith. The techniques and methods you have learned are invaluable, but they are only the scaffolding. The true building you have constructed is a new consciousness, a consciousness in which you no longer see yourself as a victim of life, but as its co-creator. This audiobook has been a map, but now that you know the territory, you no longer need it. The principles you have learned are not something you must remember. They are something you must become. The daily practice of mental mastery, the care of your thoughts and feelings, will become as natural as breathing. What others call miracles, luck, or fortunate coincidences will become for you the normal and predictable functioning of the law of your own mind. You no longer need to search for power outside of yourself. You are the power. The infinite intelligence that animates the worlds and moves the stars resides in the silent center of your being, awaiting your directives. You have awakened the inner genius. You have given it purpose. You have taught it to build. Now, close this book, but open the book of your life. Every day is a blank page. Every thought is a drop of ink. Every feeling is the force of your pen. The universe awaits your orders. Go and create your masterpiece. With this conclusion, you have the full English text of your audiobook. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding this project, such as creating a marketing summary or a final author's note?